Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is ictyahmad. So I hope those who sat paper 2 had a good exam. So for preparation for paper 3, I'm going to be doing the specimen paper from 2020, and in this video I'm going to be doing data analysis, which is spreadsheets. So paper 3 is a 2 hour and 30-minute long practical paper, also includes website authoring. So now let's scroll down to the spreadsheet section. Okay, so task 2. Data analysis. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is open and examine the files tts staff.csv and tts branches.csv in a suitable spreadsheet application. So if I go to my source folder, I'm going to double click to open both files. So this is branches, and let's open up a staff one. Okay, so we've opened up the two files. The second bullet point is basically asking us now to save both files into a spreadsheet format with specific names. So we first need to look at the branches CSV file, so it's going to be this one here. And what we need to do is to save as a spreadsheet with the name TT analysis followed by your center number and then your candidate number. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy and paste this. So for center number I will use 5678. And then for my candidate number, I'll use 1234. Obviously, in the exam, you'd enter your details. So let me copy this. Go to branches. Let's save as. Enter the name. Let me just change the numbers here. So 5678. I'll use for my center number. 1234. I'll use for my candidate number. And it's really important you save as an Excel workbook. So let me double check if I'm saving it into the same folder. Yep. So save. Okay, so that's the first one saved, and then I need to go to the staff CSV file. We're going to save the staff CSV file as TTS sales, and then again center number and your candidate number. Okay, so if we go to the staff one, again the same thing. We go to file, save as, we can enter the name, enter your details, so center number first, and then my candidate number. Again, you want to make sure you're saving as an Excel workbook. Check the folder you're saving into. Yep, it's going to be the same source folder, and then we can press save. Okay, so that's that done. So you can see the name appears here as well at the top. Okay, so that's okay. So now in a TT analysis spreadsheet, we're going to place your name, center number, and candidate number center line in the footer of the page. Okay, so let me just highlight that. So analysis is this spreadsheet here. So if we go to insert, if I go to text, I can select head and footer. Sometimes if you're searching for a particular option, you can also click in here, tell me what you're looking for basically, and you can type in header and footer as well. So two ways of doing it. We want to go to the footer and we want to be center aligned, and let me enter my name followed by my center number, 5678, and then my candidate number. Obviously, again, make sure you're entering your details. To go back into the normal view, just click on any cell and then you go to view normal. Okay, and you can double check to see if the footer has appeared if you go to the print preview. So if you go to file, print, you can see the details appear at the bottom of the page. Right, so let's save the changes. Okay, so that's that done. In cell C1, add the text branch sales. So let me copy. So C1 is this cell here, so I can just paste in. Obviously you guys will be typing since your paper will be printed off. So make sure you don't make any spelling mistakes and you include the capital letters when shown. Okay. Right, so that's that done. Now we need to insert a new row above row 1. So we can click on a 1, we can right click our mouse and we can click on insert, and we need to merge the cells A1 to C1 together. So it's basically these three cells, so we can highlight them, you can go to home and then click on merge and center, and in this cell we're going to add the text TTS sales 2019. So again, make sure you're entering this text exactly as it appears on the question paper, including the capital letters. So I can copy and paste obviously, but you would have to type. Now what we need to do is format the merge cell so that the text is center aligned with a red 24-point serif font. So the text is already center aligned, but we can change the text color now, so we can click here and select red. The size will be 24 points, and then since it's going to be a serif font, we can go for Times New Roman. Okay, so I'm happy with that. And the cell has to have a green fill, so we can click on the paint bucket and we can select a green color. And it has to have a solid black border. Okay, so what we do is just go to the borders and we can add an outside border. Okay, so that's that part done. So now what we need to do in cells A2 and C2, we have to wrap the text. So what that basically means, the text in A2 and C2, let me double check, will come underneath itself. So code will be underneath branch and cells will become underneath branch as well. So to wrap the text, we just basically select a cell, we right click and select format cells. Then you go to alignment and you tick this option to wrap the text. And then if you reduce the column size and then increase the row height, you can see the text is now wrapping. And we have to do the same thing here. So I want sales basically to come underneath. So at the moment the text is not wrapping. So again, if I right click on a cell, click on format cells, alignment, and then click the option to wrap the cells, you can now see cells has now come underneath branch. Okay. Format cells A2 and C2, so they're bold and center aligned horizontally and vertically. So let's make them bold first of all, and then let's make them center aligned and also vertically center aligned as well. So what that means is the text will basically appear in the middle of the cell vertically and also horizontally as well. Okay, so that's that part done. Adjust the cell width so all data is visible. So yep, I think I've done that already. So what you don't want obviously is the data to be cut off. So yep, that's fine with me. I can just make that slightly, actually that's fine. Okay, and then save the spreadsheet. And now let's move on to the TTS sales spreadsheet. Okay, so which is going to be this one here. So what do we need to do? So place your name, center number, and candidate number center line in the header of the page this time. So again, same principle. We go to insert. If you can't see the header and footer, you can have a search for it here. I'm going to click text, and again I will enter my name, the center number 5, 6, 7, 8, and then my candidate number 1, 2, 3, 4. Click anywhere, click on view to go back to normal. You can go to print preview and check to see if your name is appearing. So as you can see, the details do appear in the header. Okay, let me just press save. In cell E1, enter the text branch. So E1 is going to be this cell here. So let me paste. Obviously, again, you'd have to type it in. Make sure you do type in the capital B and you don't make any spelling mistakes. In cell E2, which is just going to be below E1, enter a function to use the branch code to look up the branch from the TT analysis file. So we need to enter a function to use the branch code, which will be this particular cell, to look up the branch name from the analysis file. Okay, so we basically need to look up this to get the branch name. So it's going to be a simple VLOOKUP. Okay, so equal VLOOKUP, and the lookup value is the branch code, which also will appear in a table array. So if I press comma, the table array will be in this sheet here. So you basically highlight the lookup value and then you highlight the column which will contain the output. So if the lookup value is HA, then the output will be Hamburg. Okay, so the next thing is, so that's the table array, and since we're linking to an external sheet, the table array has been absolute self-referenced automatically, so you can see the dollar signs. If I now press comma, what column are we going to be referring to for the branch? So it's going to be the second column of what we highlighted, so I can type in 2, and I want an exact match. So again, if we see HA, the exact match will be Hamburg. Okay, let me close the bracket and then press enter. Okay, so let me just confirm. So the branch code was AL, and then if I go to the other sheet, AL gives me the branch Allomer. Yep, so I'm happy with that. Okay, the next thing is to replicate this formula for each member of staff. So that basically means we have to drag it down. If I go back to here, if I go to the corner, you can see the mouse turns into a black cross. You can simply drag down the formula. Okay, so I'm just checking for any mistakes. Yeah, that's fine. So let me just adjust the columns so we can see the data in full. And let's save the changes. Okay, so that's that done. Now we come into the first printout. So print only the data for Allomer and Amsterdam branches showing a formula. So we first of all need to do a filter. So we only need to show 2 branches. So if I highlight the top row, and then if I go to filter, so home filter, and select the filter option, and for branch we only want to show Allomer and Amsterdam. So if I click down here, if I deselect this option here, and then I can tick on Allomer and Amsterdam, so you can see now we only see Allomer and Amsterdam. The next thing we need to do is to show the formulas. Okay, so I go to formulas, show formulas, and then we can adjust the column sizes, because the most important thing is we show the formula in full. Okay, obviously now we can see the formula and we can pick up maximum marks. So what we need to do is when we print in, we're going to make sure we print in a landscape orientation. So if I go to File, Print, I'm going to go to Page Setup and select Landscape. Okay, let's see what else it's saying. The row and column headings are displayed. So if I go to Sheet, I'm going to select row and column headings, which is typical when you're printing off the formulas. And let's press OK. Let's see how it's looking so far. So it's not fitting all to one page. So again, we can go to Page Setup. If I click on Fit to one page, wide and one page tall, just want to see if it all fits clearly. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So that would be your first printout. So you can see your header, your name details appears in the header. We've got the row and column details. So we've got the column letters and the row numbers, and we can see all of the data in full. Okay, so this would be your first printout. Okay. So printout 1, make sure you've entered your name. Yeah, that was all showing. Right. Now what I'm going to do is take off the filter. So let me just actually first of all take formulas off. You can see hashtags because the data is not shown in full. And let me just clear the filter. So clear filter for branch, and let's take the filter off. So now we've got all of the branches, as you can see. So the next thing we need to do is keep the data in ascending order of branch, but sort the TT sales data so the sales for the members of staff in a branch are in descending order. So what I'm going to do is basically highlight the whole table. And what it's basically asking me to do is to keep the branch in the same order. So it looks like it's going from A to Z. So let me double check. So keeping the data in descending order of branch. So if I highlight the table and then go to custom sort, the first thing we're going to sort by is branch A to Z. And then the second thing we need to sort by is the sales. Okay, so let me just click down and select sales. And it's going to be in descending order, which will be basically from largest to smallest. Let me press OK. So as you can see here, we're still maintaining the branch order, and the values are now descending, so from the greatest going down to the smallest. So let me save the changes. Okay, I've saved the spreadsheet, and now we're going to print the data for Naples and Porto branches showing the values. So again, we're going to apply the filter, and we can click here. We can deselect all of these branches and select Naples and Porto, and we double check that's what we need. Whoops, it's gone off. Okay, so we can see Naples and Porto only. And what we're going to be doing is printing the values, so that's not the formulas. We're going to be printing to portrait. So if I go to File and Print, let me go to my page setup and change it to portrait. So that's the first change we made. The row and column headings are not displayed, so we can take that off. So again, page setup, sheet, let's take this off. So we normally only show this when we're printing off the formulas. We want to make sure all of the data appears in full. Yep, I'm happy with that. Looks good to me. Contents of cells are fully visible. So print out to make sure you've entered your name, center number, and candidate number on a spreadsheet showing the values. So yeah, my numbers details up here. So now we can print this off. So that was the second printout. So far so good. Actually, let me just. Okay, so now in a TT analysis spreadsheet, we need to sort the data so the branches are in ascending order. So if I go to my analysis spreadsheet, highlight the whole table, including the headings. Then if you go to Home, Sort and Filter, click on Custom Sort, sort by branch, and then the branch has to be A to Z. So you can see Almere and Amsterdam have swapped over now. So that's the first thing done. Next thing is in cells C3 to C12, enter functions to calculate the total sales for each branch. Okay, so there's two ways of doing this. The first way, I'm going to basically use the method shown in a mark scheme, and then I'll use the other method as well to show you the two differences. So we have to enter functions in C3 to C12 to calculate the total sales for each branch. So if I go to the other Excel, let me take off the filter. So the total sales for Almere would be basically adding these values together. For Amsterdam, it will be these values here, going up to here. So what they've done in the mark scheme is basically this. So if I type in equals sum, adds all the numbers in the range of cells. And then if I go to the other sheet, okay, and I want to add up the Almere values first. Okay, so up to here, let's press enter. Now let's do the same thing for Amsterdam. Okay, equals sum. Let's go to the other sheet. And press enter. And I'm going to keep going. Equals sum. Now we're going to be doing Barcelona. So you can probably skip forward this part of the video, so I'm just going to be doing the same thing again and again. And there was a quicker method I'm going to show you, but I'm going to show you this since it's in the mark scheme. So equals sum, you highlight these values here. Equals sum. So it's going to be Hamburg now. Now we're going to be doing Marseille. Naples. Oops. So it does seem long to do this, so I'm not sure why the mark scheme has done it like this. When you see obviously the different method, you'll see is obviously much quicker. So Porto, and we've got two more to go. So, and then let's do split. and then equal sum. Okay, so that was what the mark scheme did. So if I go to formulas, show formulas, so in the mark scheme you had a different sum for each of the values, okay, so, and in different ranges as well. So what I would have done is a sum if. So I'll just do it side by side so you can see the difference. Sum if, and what we can do, the range will be, if I go to the other sheet, I'll just show you. Actually, let me just delete this. So we can either choose, I'm going to use the branch code as a criteria. So if I go to the other Excel sheet, this would be the range of cells I'm looking up for the criteria, and the sum range will be this column here. Okay, so basically what a sum if is going to do, if it sees this criteria, it's going to add up this value. So anytime it sees AL, is going to add up the values in a corresponding column. So you'll see now this is going to be much quicker. So equal sum if, and we're going to get the exact same values. So if I type in sum if, the range first of all is going to be the branch code in this sheet here. So there's no need to absolute cell reference since it's an external sheet. It does it for you, as you can see here. So it's absolute cell referenced, comma. If I go back to the analysis sheet, the criteria is going to be the branch code, which will be relative. So when I drag it down, it's going to change to the according cell, comma, and then the sum range is basically going to be what we're trying to add. So if I go back to this sheet here, if I go back to the top, the sum range will basically be parallel to the branch code. So we're adding up the sales, okay? And let me close the bracket and press enter. And you can see you got the exact same answer. If I drag it down, you've got the exact same values, okay? So when I looked at the mark scheme, there was only 3 marks for this answer. So I don't think you will be penalized if you use this method or use the individual method, but I just wanted to show you both. This is what was in the mark scheme. Obviously, this is what I would have done. Right, anyway, so let me get rid of that then. So let's just move forward then. Okay, so let's save the analysis spreadsheet. Okay, so let's now go to the next question. So next part is to print. So we're going to print a spreadsheet showing a formulae. So if I go back to analysis, let's get the formulas showing. So formulas and show formulas. Make sure everything is shown in full. Okay. Right. So it's going to be landscape. Row and column headings will be displayed. All contents of the cells are fully visible. So if I go to File, Print, again go to Page Setup, we change it to Landscape. So yeah, row columns will be shown. So if I go to Sheet, select Row and Column Headings, press OK, and then check to see if all the values are shown in full. So we've got the row the column letters and the row numbers showing. We've got the branch code, the branch name, and then the formula showing to see how we worked out the branch sales. Okay, so that's that done. This is good to print. Let's take the formulas off. Okay, so that's that part done. Okay, so now we need to print again, but this time we're going to show the values. So I've taken off the formulas already. It's going to be portrait. Row and column headings are not displayed. So again, make sure all of the information is displayed in full. We can just wrap that text again. So if you go to File, Print, Page Setup, let's change it back to Portrait. If you go to Sheet, let's take off the row and column headings. The contents of all the cells are fully visible. The table is centered horizontally on the page. So if we go back to the Excel, so I'm going to go back to my page setup. So we need to make this table center aligned. Okay, so if we go to page setup, let's look in margins, and let's take this option here to center align the table. Okay, so that was something new, so always get into the habit of looking for different options. So sometimes you'll just find it by selecting and clicking on different boxes. Right, so what we need to do now, we can print this off. So we're showing the values, it's portrait, row and column headings are not displayed, the contents of the cells are fully visible, table is center aligned, the center details and the candidate details appear at the top of the page. So this is now good to print off. So the candidate number, so make sure you've entered your name, center number, candidate number on a spreadsheet showing a table. Yep, so we've got that. I was just double checking. So now this is good to print. Okay, so we've done that now. So that's print out 4. Okay, let's go back to the Excel. Okay, now what we need to do is extract only those branches with sales greater than 4 million. Okay, so again we're going to apply the filter. So if we go to home, click on filter, and you want sales greater than 4 million. So if I go to number filters, greater than, yeah, so if I type in 4 million, so I think it's 6 zeros. Okay, so the next thing is print the spreadsheet showing the extracted data. Make sure it's in portrait orientation. Row and column headings are not displayed. So again, we're going to be printing off this data. Yep, so all of these values are more than 4 million. So again, we go to File, Print. Let me double check. So yeah, so it's in portrait. Row and column headings are not displayed. The contents of the cells are fully visible. Yep, we can see all of the data. A table is centered horizontally on the page, so that's still there from the previous setting. And then you have entered your name, center number and candidate number on the spreadsheet showing the extract. Okay, so this is now good to print, so we can send this to the printer as well. So there's lots of printouts for this particular paper, so make sure you keep your printouts in order. Okay, so now we have to create and fully label a chart to compare the data for all of the branches. So what we need to do first of all is to clear the filter. So if I click on here, clear the filter, let's take the filter off. So I'm going to make a bar chart because I think that's going to show the different values really clearly for each branch. Okay, so if I highlight both columns here, so we include the branch name and the branch sales. If I go to insert and then select the vertical bar chart option. Okay, the next thing which we need to do is to make sure we fully label the chart. So these sales are from 2019, so I'm going to type in here as a title branch sales 2019. To get the ICT titles, I'm going to click on quick layouts, select the 9th option. This will be the branch sales, and then here we will have the branch. Okay, so I don't think it's necessary to include the legend since all of the values are the same color. All of the bar charts are the same color, so we can delete the legend. Okay, so now what we need to do is print only the chart. Okay, so before we print, you need to make sure you've entered your name, center number and candidate number onto the chart. So if you were to just go to the print preview, so if I click on the chart and go to file and print, you'll notice the details are missing. So to include the details onto the chart, make sure it's selected. You go to insert, header and footer. If I go to custom footer, and then in center section I'm going to include my name again. Center number 5678, candidate number 1234. Press OK, press OK. Then if I go to file and print, you can see now we have the details appearing on the graph. So now this graph is ready to print. So we have all of the branches, we have the sales figures here shown on the left hand side. We've got suitable labels for our axes. So now this is good to go. So we can print this off. Okay. Alright, so let's go back to the question now. So we've done this. print out number 6. Right, in cell B13, add the text total sales and format the text as bold. So B13 is going to be this range of cell, or this cell here. So let's paste in, and we want to make this text bold. Also not italic, bold. And then C13, insert a formula to calculate the total sales of the branch. So calculate the total of the branch sales. So if we go back to the Excel, so we just basically want to add up these values here, so we can use equal sum and add up these values here. Okay, so here's the figure, and that's that part done. Right, so format the value as bold. Okay, so now in cell D2 we need to add the text target sales. So this text will be wrapped, center aligned, and it will be formatted as bold. So let me go to D2, let me paste the text in. Let's make it center aligned, let's make it bold, and then let's wrap the text. So if you right click on a cell, go to format cells, alignment, and then click on wrap the text. So it should come underneath itself. Yeah. Okay. So in cell D13, insert a formula to increase the value of the total sales by a percentage. So D13 is this cell here. And what do we need to do? We basically need to use trial and error to work out the smallest percentage increase to reach a target sale value of 50 million. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to type in equal sum. And we're going to highlight this range of cells here. So obviously we've got nothing showing. Basically this is the total sales now, and we need to enter a percentage to increase it to at least 50 million. So okay, let's first of all click here. If I type click on equal, click on this cell, and we're going to add an extra 10% on. So if I times it by 1.1, okay, and then if I drag this down, okay, we're still below the 50 million mark. So let's now times it by 15%. Let's see what happens if it's times by 1.15. Let's drag it down. So we're now at 46 million. So let's type in so add 20% onto the sales. Drag it down, and we're getting close now, so we're at 48 million. So what I'm going to do is add 25% instead. Okay, so this is now 25% if I drag it down, and yep, we've just gone over 50 million. If I change it, the first one to 24, let's see what happens. And if I drag it down, you can see it's just gone below 50 million. So 25% was the lowest value percentage we need to multiply by to get over 50 million. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so the formula's been replicated. Now we're going to print the spreadsheet showing the formulas. Make sure it's in landscape, row and column headings are displayed, and the contents of all cells are fully visible. So let's put the formulas back on. Okay, so let's go to file and print. We want to go to page setup, landscape. Let's fit to 1 page wide. Let's see what happens. Okay, I only want to print off just this data here. So what I'm going to do is go to file, print. So I've selected the data I want to print first of all. File, print. Let's just print the selection. Okay, so if we go to page setup, what we need to apply is the so we need to make sure it's landscape, row and column headings are displayed. So if we, whoops, I clicked the wrong thing there. So if we go to sheet, row and column headings are displayed. Again, go back to page setup, is landscape, and we can fit it to one sheet. Okay, so I'm happy with these settings. All of the information is showing, the formula is shown in full. Yep, so we can print this off, and the name is here as well. Okay, so that's good to go. And then finally, so that was printout 7. We have one more printout. So this time we have to print the values in the portrait orientation. Make sure the row and column headings are not displayed and the contents of all cells are fully visible. So let's take off the formulas. I just want to make all of the values visible. Yep, I'm happy with that. So again, we can go to File and Print. Let's go to Page Setup. So it's going to be Portrait. Row and column headings are not displayed. Let's press OK. Portrait, wrong. Okay. And the contents of the cells are fully visible. So what I need to take off is, if we go to margins, there's no mention of central line in the table. So let's take that option off. And the name candidate details appears at the bottom. So yep, so that's that done. So let me highlight all of this, and this is now the final printout. So make sure you've entered your name, center number, candidate number on a spreadsheet showing a value. So this is a final printout, and that's that paper complete. So this was a straightforward paper, but there was a lot of printing and filtering, and so there was lots of different things that you had to do. So the mistakes people could make with this paper is forgetting to print off, or not knowing the difference between printing formulas or the values. Okay, so this paper, you need to make sure you know how to print. Okay guys, thank you for watching this video. Please like and share the video, and please show your support to the channel, subscribe below. Good luck in your exams coming up this week. Thanks again for your time.